I've been watching what's happening in the world over the past few months, and I got curious about something, not in a theoretical way, in a practical, what would I actually do kind of way. So I started digging. Government procurement filings, FEMA emergency logistics records, disclosed stockpile inventories from federal emergency facilities across North America. And I kept finding the same item, over and over, in every government emergency depot, every hardened facility, every nuclear plant emergency cache on the continent. An $8 bottle. Not classified, not restricted. Available online right now, no prescription required. FDA approved since 1982, formally recommended by the World Health Organization. And almost nobody outside of emergency management circles has ever heard of it. That is what this video is. The pill is called Potassium Iodide. And before I tell you what it does, I want you to understand how your body works without it. Because that is the part that made me go order a supply the same afternoon I figured out the mechanism. Your thyroid gland, the butterfly-shaped gland at the base of your throat, runs entirely on iodine. Your body pulls iodine from everything you eat and drink, and your thyroid stores it for ongoing function. Completely normal process. Here's the problem. Radioactive Iodine-131, the specific isotope released in a nuclear detonation or reactor breach, is chemically identical to regular safe iodine. Your thyroid cannot tell the difference. It will absorb radioactive iodine-131 just as efficiently as the stable kind. And once radioactive iodine is inside your thyroid, the damage is permanent. Thyroid cancer, thyroid failure. In young children, irreversible developmental effects. That is the bad version of the story. Potassium iodide works by flooding your thyroid with stable iodine before the radioactive version can get there. Once your thyroid is fully saturated, which happens within a few hours of a single dose, it physically cannot absorb any more iodine of any kind. The radioactive iodine-131 shows up, finds no available receptors, and your body treats it as surplus and flushes it out. One pill, one mechanism, 43 years of FDA approval. Now, here's where it gets interesting. FEMA is legally required to maintain potassium iodide stockpiles near every nuclear power plant in the United States, 93 operating reactors. Canada maintains equivalent requirements under Health Canada protocols. The WHO has formally recommended national KI preparedness programs since 1999. The stockrooms are full. The legislation is on the books. The elite, the emergency managers, the people who read the actual classified risk assessments, they have this handled. What has never existed is a coordinated public campaign directing ordinary people to go buy their own supply. I want to show you what that gap actually costs when it matters, because I went back through the historical record to find out. April 26, 1986, Chernobyl explodes. Soviet emergency officials know within hours exactly what has been released. Potassium iodide stockpiles exist. The decision is made at the government level to delay civilian distribution in favor of managing public order. In the following days, children in Belarus and northern Ukraine drink contaminated milk, go outside, go to school. By the mid-1990s, thyroid cancer rates in affected children had increased by more than 2,400%. The United Nations Scientific Committee on the Effects of Atomic Radiation confirmed the causal link directly. The pill was there. The knowledge was there. It just never made it down to the people who needed it. Stay with me, because this next part is the one that changed how I think about my own emergency kit. March 2011. Fukushima. Japan has KI stockpiles pre-positioned near the plant. After the meltdown, distribution collapses into bureaucratic confusion about authorization levels. Some municipalities receive supplies within hours. Others, 3 kilometers away, receive nothing. A 2014 study in the journal Thyroid measured thyroid abnormality rates in children from both groups. The results were meaningfully different. Same radiation cloud, same geography, same event. The only variable was whether someone handed them a bottle. February 2022. Russian forces move on the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the largest nuclear facility in Europe. Poland distributes potassium iodide to 4.8 million households within weeks, proactively, before any incident. Germany restocks its national reserves the same month. Finland updates household emergency preparedness guidelines to specifically recommend personal KA stockpiling. Belgium has already pre-distributed supplies to every single household in the country. Every government that had actually absorbed the Chernobyl data moved immediately. And when I went back and pulled the procurement and restocking patterns from 2022 through early this year, the facilities that get quietly restocked when people in emergency management believe the risk is real, the same item keeps showing up. The stockrooms of hardened facilities across this continent are full of it. The people with access to the actual risk picture are prepared, and an $8 bottle is all that separates them from the rest of us. Here is exactly what you need and what it costs. Potassium iodide is available without a prescription in both the United States and Canada. 2 FDA-approved brands, ThyroSafe and IOSAT. You can find them online and at some pharmacies. A 14-tablet adult supply runs between $6 and $12. A full family pack for 4 adults costs under $30. You do not take this daily. It is not a supplement. It is a single-event emergency medication. You take it only when official emergency authorities issue a directive following a confirmed radiological event. Timing is the critical variable. The pill needs to be taken within 1 to 4 hours before potential exposure, or immediately after a confirmed release in your area. Too early and the protection fades before you need it. Too late and your thyroid has already absorbed what it is going to absorb. This is exactly why it needs to already be in your kit before anything happens. Not ordered when the news breaks. Dosing by age, adults and teenagers over 12, 130 milligrams. Children 3 to 12, 65 milligrams. Toddlers 1 month to 3 years, 32 milligrams. Infants under 1 month, 16 milligrams. Store it sealed at room temperature. Most KI supplies are stable for 7 years or more. Check the expiration date when it arrives and rotate accordingly. It weighs almost nothing. Fits in any kit. It does something no other item in your emergency supplies does. One thing to be clear about. Potassium iodide is thyroid protection only. It does not shield you from external radiation or other radioactive particles. In any radiological event, the full protocol is shelter in place. Lowest floor of a solid building, window and door gaps sealed with tape. Stay inside until official guidance clears you. KII is one layer of that plan. It is the cheapest layer, and the one that is most consistently missing from the average household because nobody ever mentioned it. $8. 43 years of official endorsement, distributed proactively to millions of households across Europe while the threat was still theoretical. Sitting in a government emergency stockrooms across this continent while the public awareness campaign never came. I dig these things up so you don't have to. If this was useful, subscribe, and share this with someone who has never thought about an emergency kit, because this one is worth knowing before you need it.